What's up, guys? I just wanted to make a quick video about the importance of reading and how it can affect your life and, most importantly, your finances. Um, I know, it's a cliche that we're always like stress the importance of reading and stuff like that in school, but growing up in the information age, it was it seemed like a more feasible way to get information via the internet than it did rummaging through books and stuff like that. And it seemed like it was a more time efficient way to find out stuff that you needed to know. But with this information age and everything becoming faster, one thing that happens is that a lot of these articles and stuff like that online are written with minimal forethought, minimal preparation, and then written with the prose of amateur professionals at best, which is not to insult anybody because I'm an amateur media person right now doing what I'm doing on this video. So I always support people practicing their craft and trying to, execute things at any level of proficiency in order to build that skill. That's how we get better at things and stuff like that. But when you have such unregulated information, it lacks a lot of intrinsic value because a lot of it could be false. Even the stuff that is true, a lot of those things could be embellished, or it could also not be delivered to you in a way that is good for you to receive it, or in a like, how you have to learn how to crawl before you have to learn how to walk and stuff like that. A lot of times, a lot of these articles are trying to give you the keys to your own vehicle and the answer to your own problem without the steps or an applicable guide on how to actually attain the desired results, which is what's important. So let me switch the topic to what the title is about. Books. I'm not, like I said before, I grew up in the information age. Most of us don't read as much as we should, or even as much as we personally like to admit. I was one of the very same. I was the same person, especially being a young black man. We're really not stressed the importance of reading as much as we should, from our families, but also from our sources of education. But in reading this year's 2018, for anybody who ever watches this in the future, I started looking into books because I've been getting bored with a lot of the information online. I've been noticing a trend of a lot of it just being negative and emotionally driven, like just put out there to affect you emotionally. Like a lot of it doesn't have good, like, whole information, meaning stuff you can build from, like stuff that they would teach you in school, stuff that you learn from and stuff like that. It doesn't have whole, there's no nutrition in the information that we receive. So I took it upon myself to start reading some books, specifically starting with Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson, because he's just an important figure to me, and also an important figure to Mr. Boyce Watkins, who is my number one role model and a main guideline for how I've been changing up my life, just as a side note. But anyways, I read that book by him. It pretty much changed my life on how I want to operate as a black man. Like, I realize education is important, and it's the gateway and key to attaining financial literacy, and then acumen, and then building wealth, which are things that we need to do as youth, especially as American youth, where we're slowly but surely being outpaced by our competition, such as China, and other people who are aiming to use us and utilize our country to fulfill their own needs and stuff like that by, making us a subservient culture and stuff. which we as Americans are having be allowed be done to us because of our lack of education, our lack of personal education, and our government being made up of a bunch of people who are educated, know what they're doing, and they know the importance of these things, and they know how education has gotten them to their position and how it has also kept them in their position by the lack of education of others. So taking it upon yourself to educate yourself further and read more is very important, because it will help you build a knowledge base and to infrastructure a life plan and build goals and develop them, learn the roads to them. You can fucking you can plot out, you can say you want to go to Curacao, you can say you want to go to, you know what I'm saying, Madiba or whatever, wherever you want to go, you can say you want to travel there. But if you don't even know what the fuck country it's in, then you're not going to get there, first off. If you don't know what continent it's on, you're not going to get there. And then you have to go into an even more intricate plot of how pathing your way there, mapping that out. Bad analogy, whatever. My point is that information is a road to lead you to the location, the goal that you want to achieve. So if you're going, and I know I said that the books will make you rich. What I mean is, any goal that you want to achieve, the information to get there is in books, including becoming rich. So if you're a person who looked at this because you saw rich and become rich, and that's what made you want to look into this, then all you have to do is apply that same type of mentality towards researching books, texts, and things like that in order to study, which would be wealth and finance and business. Finding information on those kind of things will help you get to where you want to be. And more specifically, once you find out how you want to attain any type of wealth, reading specialized books on your field of practice will help you build proficiency in that, maximizing your ability to gain profit from your labors. See, a lot of America is about becoming part of the working class, just work. But you have to work smart, and you have to work literate. You have to work in a way that is literate and in a way that is proactively dealing with future turmoil, because it's 100% going to come every single one of our ways, which is something I've learned through reading. I mean, obviously through personal experience in real life, but also through reading, you realize how far these things reach. Because another thing that reading does is introduces you to people outside of your average social circle, meaning that when you get in a contact with these, they're giving you information about lifestyles and things that they do that you've never even met a person who's done things like that before. So you would never have the ability to know how a person like that operates, a person in a level that you want to attain financially or something like that, because it's usually going to be a level that you're not already in. If you want to attain it, you won't even know how those people operate if you can't communicate with them. So even though it's a one-way thing, books is still a form of communication, meaning that when people read books and when that information comes back to them, it's the person who wrote the book communicating whatever it is that the topic of the book is to the reader. And a lot of the financial books is going to be communicating to you how they built their finances, how they built their wealth. And if you target a person who has a specific lifestyle, or at least a specific business, a plan of any type, any asset that you desire, you study them, then that is that's the most efficient way to attain that lifestyle. First and foremost, with some basic, fundamentals of each and every individual field. Find out who those people are too. That's something you can look online. Now, I use online to look up top 10 books for this top 10 books by these type of people, or top 10 books or books to read if you want to do. I do fashion, so it's like I looked up books that are essential for fashion makers and stuff. I started buying them. Even if you don't know what they are necessarily, you see more than 3 sites that people are saying that it's essential to the field, the reading, the text, the information, then go ahead and cop that. Go ahead and buy that, because you're probably going to get you're going to at least get one piece of information that you didn't know before, which is going to help you rise in your field. Because putting everybody's joined experiences together is the way that you can, just gain a knowledge base far exceeding your own personal experiences and chronology and your own wisdom. And that's what life's all about. And that's what's going to make you rich, as long as you're focused on that thing. I mean, saying reading books is going to ever give you money. That's not, it's not even possible. But my point was that if you want to be rich and you're not rich and you don't know anybody who's rich and you have nobody who's going to make you rich, there are people who want to share a very similar story with you from every single walk of life. There are people who have a similar story, have succeeded from a similar walk of life that you have made, and they have information that they can offer to you. It's all at your fingertips. You just have to go out there and get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. I wanted to just say that reading is also a habit-based thing. I still don't even feel like I read as much as I should, even though I have been motioning towards reading weekly, and usually I try to read daily and stuff like that. By 2019, I will be reading daily, reading a book daily, not a full book, but like a piece of a book daily. It's something I've just try to build into my daily habits and stuff. I'm not a person who tries to force anything on myself, because it's always easier whenever I introduce it slowly but surely and then take initiative to push myself further whenever I feel comfortable. But that's just me. Whatever you have to do, I don't care if you have to force yourself. I don't care what you have to do. Read. Like, you have to read. It's the only thing that's going to make us gain anything. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for checking out. Be sure to subscribe and like the video if you are interested in the information that I've offered. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully.